Strange geological phenomena that threaten to split the African continent in two, mysterious creatures lurking in the forest of Kilimanjaro, and, in the first place, a gigantic monster discovered in Africa. Stay with us because today we'll present you the 5 creepiest things discovered in Africa. Number 5. Sometimes the most horrible things you can imagine are happening close, very close. Maybe in your own street or even in your neighbor's house. Stories like the one recently presented at the Escort police station seem to show us the truth behind this reality. Police officers in the South African township were surprised by the arrival of a man who claimed to be tired of feeding on human flesh. This isn't something you see every day, but after checking the bag he had with him, there was no doubt. In it, there were human arms, legs, and heads. The chilling news quickly reached Escort News, the local newspaper. The press release followed up on this event and the investigation that led authorities to the man's home. As they crossed the threshold of his home, they entered the real hell. There were human ears, tongues, and eyes everywhere. Also human hearts, half-eaten heads, and other parts were found in the refrigerator, but investigators preferred not to reveal the discovery to the press. Local residents said they had no idea the man's behavior. The only thing they assured was that he organized parties that lasted until the wee hours of the morning. When the cannibal was questioned, he just smiled, accepted his crimes, and left some words in the air that still continue to terrify the inhabitants of Escort. "We are a community of cannibals. Every third person in this village is one. They should know that by now." These were the last words he delivered to the police. Subsequent investigations proved that he wasn't wrong. In the building where this man was staying, other members of this creepy cannibal community were found. The horror was repeated in their homes, and the darkest part of the case is that far from stopping, this reality continues in this and several other cities in South Africa. Number 4. Let's drastically change the subject and unearth a mysterious discovery that has astonished science and the inhabitants of Scarborough Beach in Cape Town, also in South Africa. At this pleasant spot, a group of fishermen and sunbathers witnessed something unprecedented. On the afternoon of August 16th, an animal was washed up on this rocky beach. At first, many thought it was marine debris. After all, the creature was covered in suction cups and algae. However, as onlookers approached the beach, they were quickly reminded of the old Greek story of the krakens of the ocean. A giant squid nearly 5 meters long stood before the astonished citizens. Life had already escaped from its body, but it had not been in that state for too long. Its long tentacles still seemed to be able to move, which made the scene even more terrifying. The team from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of South Africa sent Mike Vashoni, an invertebrate zoologist, who examined the carcass and was surprised by the results. It appeared to be a giant squid calf. It showed no wounds, and there was nothing to explain its boldness in breaking away from the deep sea to prowl the surface. However, Mike acknowledged to the South African website News 24 that this was the second largest squid ever recorded to date. In fact, weeks earlier, a 13-meter-long adult female had also been stranded on the beach, causing quite a stir in the community. It's believed that these squids can reach up to 20 meters long, a real surprise of nature for all human beings and a reminder that krakens may indeed exist, although for the moment, they prefer to stay hidden in the depths of the sea. Number 3. If the previous story has surprised you, get ready to discover a shocking fact that keeps several researchers and specialists from all over the planet trying to find answers to the mysterious events of the African Rift. Known as the Great Rift Valley, this small area of the continent has captivated the eyes of the entire planet as this monstrous geological fracture of the site has been widening, which has already reached the size of 5,000 kilometers. Such is the fracture that its extension goes from Ethiopia to Mozambique. And it isn't the only area where the Earth has begun to open up. In several places in Kenya, the same phenomenon has also been recorded, which warns us that the African continent is going to split in two. Of course, it won't happen in the near future. It's estimated that this opening is widening by a few millimeters per year. It will be millions of years before this hypothesis becomes a reality. But we can be sure that it will happen. The reason for this strange phenomenon isn't entirely clear. Geologists are convinced that it's a phenomenon with many characteristics, among which rainfall, volcanism, and constant earthquakes stand out. These factors, together with many others, have caused the formation of depressions and deep cracks in this extensive area, which threaten to divide the continent little by little. Naturally, this phenomenon is still under observation, but for the moment, it has already caused great disasters in the lives of these countries, since the crack is spreading more and more, affecting roads, farming areas, and, in the near future, even several cities. Number 2. For many cryptozoology lovers, Africa is a place where you can always find some of the most amazing creatures in the world. Perhaps due to its abundant wilderness or the unobtrusiveness of man's hand here, for one reason or another, amazing finds have been recorded here for centuries, and one of the most unusual is in the Republic of Kenya. We have to go there to meet the Balikimo apes, a group of unidentified and unrecognized primates that possess a multitude of unusual characteristics. The natives of the Mount Kilimanjaro area identify them by their short stature, dark tuft heads, and certain humanoid features. It seems that these primates have roamed the lush vegetation of Kenya for millennia, and although they have coexisted with humans since then, it doesn't mean that they tolerate their presence. These apes are known to be extremely territorial and aggressive. Their attacks are fierce and violent. Those who have fallen victim to them quickly discover that there's a little hell on earth and pay a high price for going near it. Throughout Kenya, there are believed to be at least 5 tribes of these primates. All seem to derive from the Balikimo, although besides this one, the most important are the Dakau and the Mau. Each of these wild monsters has gripped cryptid fans, especially since Roger Courtney, a famous hunter in the 1940s, went deep into this place and spotted what he called the Mau men. He also saw the rest of the ape-like monsters that prowled the bowels of this place without anyone being able to get close enough to them without paying a heavy price. Number 1. We come to what's undoubtedly one of the most intimidating places in all of Africa. And we say this not because of the strange phenomena that are recorded in the area, but because of an amazing creature that has apparently been sighted in Lake Tanganyika. Lake Tanganyika is a point where the borders of Tanzania and the Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi, and Zambia meet. The natives refer to it with great respect, as it's officially the second oldest freshwater lake in the world, as well as the longest and deepest. With this combination, it isn't surprising that the place concentrates an incredible variety of marine species and is a point of abundant fishing, but also of legends. One of the most disturbing ones refers to an ancient monster that sleeps in the depths of the river and that, against all odds, seems to have awakened. At least this is what different fishermen in the area claim. They spotted a strange figure with the appearance of a reptile and a huge body, which different tribes such as the Tabwa from northern Zambia call the god of fishing. This powerful creature would be an extremely savage sea monster that can devour dozens of boats in a single instant. Its figure has been associated with chaos and death since the arrival of the colonists, who left extensive testimonies of the existence of this creature in 1893. However, the records didn't end on that date, but continued to multiply for more than a century and a half. The existence of this creature has gone from being a legend to an absolute reality that affects local fishermen and has led numerous tribes to perform all kinds of rituals to calm the river monster. Unfortunately, this doesn't seem to have calmed the fury of the beast, as fishermen live tormented by its insistent attacks. The fear that the being of the deep will one day emerge is real, And all those who approach Lake Tanganyika are clear about one thing: danger can appear at any time. Of course, this doesn't only happen in Africa. Every continent has its own haunting mysteries and harbors unimaginable horrors. Their stories are full of dark creatures and beings that could give you weeks of intense nightmares. Still, if you're brave enough to face the mysteries that hide beyond logic and reason, perhaps you should follow us in the next videos and face the horror of the unknown.